Now, families in Lambeth are being warned that their local council is seeking to evict them after being unable to afford huge hikes in their energy bills. That's according to the charity Fuel Poverty Action. They say some are facing increases of as much as 350%. They say Lambeth Council housing residents, including pensioners, lone parents and parents of children with disabilities, are all members of a heat network, meaning they're unable to switch providers, locked in to these prices that are going up so sharply. Now, Ida lives in Lambeth. She's a single mother to a teenage boy and cares for her elderly mother as well and receives benefits. And she joins me now. Ida, good afternoon to you.
Hello, good afternoon.
Thank you for joining me on the show. This is a difficult time for you, I understand. Just paint a picture for me in terms of the bills, how much they've gone up, how challenging that's been for you.
Well, I mean, prior to April 2023, the service charges that were incurred on top of my rent was about £22.
A month?
No, a week.
A week, right. Yes, okay.
And then post April the 1st, 2023, the prices were hiked up to £70 and 7 pence.
Wow. Now, does that cost include your energy fee?
No, because I pay separately for gas and electric.
Right. Okay. All right. So go on. That's a huge increase.
It's a massive increase, and predominantly it's for hot water and heating, regardless of usage.
I see. Okay. And yet you still pay separately for gas and electricity on top of that as well. Right.
Yeah,
I see.
I do.
And what explanation was given for that price increase?
Oh, do you know what? I've even complained to Ombudsman. I've liaised with the rents team. They're talking about it due to inflation and whatever excuses they make. But the residents of my block actually had a meeting with Lambeth's rent team. Mm-hmm. And we were informed, although later they reneged it, but we were informed that the problem with the price hikes is because Lambeth's trying to recoup 2 years' worth of deficit by placing these charges on the residents.
I see.
And then we were reassured that post from April this year, they're going to go down again.
Which is now small comfort to you right now, I guess.
Well, exactly. I'm in so much arrears because of my service charges. And I've explained to them time and time again, I cannot afford the £70. But basically I can't meet my arrears. I can't pay for my arrears because every week I'm getting another charge of £70. So no matter how much I pay,
it's only scratching the surface. I understand.
Exactly.
And I'm interested to know that you're not metered, are you? Because you're using the hot water, but you're not charged per usage. You're charged a flat rate.
Yeah.
So even if you restricted your own usage, it wouldn't save you any money.
No, it wouldn't make a blind bit of difference.
Now, I mean, this has been going on for the best part of a year now. So how's this left you feeling? Well, how's this left you practically, financially, first of all?
Oh, completely. I've never really had any kind of arrears in terms of my rent before because I could afford the £22 a week.
Yes.
But the £70, it's made me anxious. My sleeping is all over the place. I've been to my GP for anxiety and sleeplessness. I'm trying to get some extra help in terms of my anxiety. In terms of my sleeplessness, the GP gave me antihistamines or some kind of which is rubbish. But anyway, that's another different story. But yeah, it's just made me anxious. Again, this is impacting on my child as well.
Yes.
Because he's being so stressed.
And you care for your elderly mother as well, on site, or does she have her own flat?
No. She's got her own house.
She's got her own place. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
And what have the council said to you about these arrears?
Well, what they've said to me is pay what you owe and then pay on top to clear your arrears, which is nonsensical. So I'm saying to them, I can't afford the £70. So where do you want me to get the extra to pay on top?
Do you know how much you're in debt by at the moment? What the figure?
Yes, I do, but Yeah, it's over £1,000.
I
Put it
see.
this way.
Okay, all right.
It's,
Well,
it's over, well over.
that's a huge mountain to climb, isn't it? And it's
Yeah.
going to be incredibly worrying for you.
Well, until April. I mean, I don't know. It might get to it might get to 3,000. I've got no idea how long. I mean, I've had a letter of repossession, and also had a threat of been taken to court.
Right.
Which Lambeth reassured us that they wouldn't be doing that, but they are. They are. Even like literally yesterday, one of my neighbours sent me a text. She's been very active in dealing with this, but she's got a letter, the same letter I got earlier this year. She got it yesterday about saying that you need to clear your ears. If not, we're going to take you to court.
So you're not alone in this in the block?
Oh, no. There's quite a lot of. I'm not. I mean, I'm just speaking on behalf of other people. No, I'm not the only one. There's been quite a few residents I'm aware of that have had both the repossession letters and the threat of court letters.
Look, if the worst was to happen, Ida, and they saw through these threats, that would see you potentially homeless, would it? What would happen for you?
Well, I mean, yeah, potentially. I mean, that's the threat, though, isn't it? At the end of the day, that's the threat. But it's completely blindsided because Lambeth would end up spending more money making me homeless and putting me in temporary accommodation than actually helping the residents. And things that yesterday I watched BBC Live where they actually interviewed one of my neighbours. And at the end of the statement that they got from Lambeth, it said that they're offering residents an extended payment plan, which is absolutely false. They haven't offered any of us an extended payment plan.
Are they charging you interest on the debt as well, or is it?
No, it just keeps on increasing.
Right,
it just keeps on increasing.
Because, of course, you can't afford the £70 a week. Understandable. Hang on there for me, Ida. Let's talk now to Ruth London from Fuel Poverty Action, who joins me on the line now as well. Hello, Ruth.
Hello.
Hi. I mean, listening to Ida's story, it's a desperate situation and there doesn't seem to be any light at the end of the tunnel. How common is this problem at the moment?
The thing is that heat networks were brought in. They were supposed to be greener. They were supposed to be more affordable, and they can be. But we've been in touch with people all over the country and loads in London who are having problems where they're run so badly and they're run for profit and nobody cares really what happens to the residents at the end of it, and they're unregulated and people are just being taken advantage of in the most horrendous way. However, this is the only case that we know of where people are actually being threatened with losing their homes. And I think, lots of people around the country are suffering from energy bills, but people, losing supply is bad enough, but losing your home is, quite a different story.
Yeah, that feels like a reach to me for a council to go to a threat of eviction for a debt incurred from energy bills. I appreciate it is still a deficit. It's a money owing. Nevertheless, to go as far as threatening eviction is only going to compound the stress and anxiety issues that people like Ida are feeling right now.
It does,
and doesn't necessarily solve the problem. Surely does it? Because if you then make a young mother, single mother in Ida's case, to a teenage boy homeless, then you have a statutory obligation to rehome them. I mean, it doesn't solve the problem at all. In fact, it arguably makes it bigger.
There's single mothers, there's pensioners, there's people with disabilities. As you say, it is nonsensical. And then who are they going to get in who can pay these? Who's eligible for council housing that can pay the bills that they've got now? They're not necessary. There is government money available to help, first of all, to make the heating systems more efficient, because part of the reason that it's so expensive is that they don't work properly. They haven't been maintained properly. Some of them haven't even been installed properly. People are suffering on top of having these horrendous bills. They're actually, the heating isn't working, or they can't get hot water, or they get it and then for the rest of the week they freeze because it's off. So it's compounded in so many ways. It is not necessary for them to do this. There's government money available to fix the heating systems. There's also government money available for the gas bills that they say are the cause of the problem, the rising cost of gas.
I mean, if there are so many courses of action that the council could take. I mean, I'm sure you're in some kind of dialogue with them. We've tried. We requested a response from Lambeth Council today, but they declined to be interviewed and have not even sent us a written response. So
Right.
they closed the door on us today, I'm afraid, which
Yes.
is very frustrating because we want to get to the bottom of this as much as you and as much as I did do. But I mean, are you having some kind of dialogue with them to say, look, this is one option you have. You can explore this?
The residents have written to them asking for a meeting where we would really be glad to explore it. And hopefully there are people in Lambeth Council who want to wake up and do something about it. Because,
Right.
if you've got something that's unnecessary, it's causing huge suffering. It's actually very cruel. It's totally unjust because, like I say, nobody else is being evicted for this. Even people on other heat networks are not facing this. They're just trying it on. And I think they're going to have to realize that people will not put up with it because the Lambeth tenants have got themselves together. They want to make the council accountable. They want to make the council work. And they have, Fuel Poverty Action behind them.
Yes.
We have been fighting for years against, injustices with prepayment meters, with standing charges. We're fighting for something called Energy for All, which would guarantee that everybody has the minimum, to keep warm, wash, keep the fridge on, cook, and that people would pay more if they're actually wasting energy, and that the main money for that should come from the huge profits that the fossil fuel companies are making. And we think that that's the kind of justice that people all over the country are wanting to see. And then it can be invested in, better heating systems and better housing, because also it costs much more to heat your home if it's not well insulated and not well repaired.
Absolutely.
And that's the same thing. And Lambeth people are facing that as well. And one of their demands, you can see the demands on our website, fuelpovertyaction.org. The demands are there, and a way to contact the group is there.
That's good to hear. So that's
would like
fuelpovertyaction.org if you want more information about this. Perhaps you're facing a similar situation. I mean, I can tell you I'm dissatisfied that Lambeth Council have declined the interview today. So we'll reapproach them after the programme today, allow them an opportunity to hear what's been said and allow them an opportunity to respond, as we should do, because everybody accepts energy prices have gone up. We shouldn't necessarily expect people to bear the brunt of all those costs on our behalf. Everybody knows that, but there has to be a better way of doing that, particularly when you're dealing with vulnerable people.
Absolutely.
And we should have a dialogue.
Can I forget something, if you don't mind?
Please do, Ida. Go ahead.
Okay. We had a meeting with Lambeth's Reds team as the residents of my estate, especially of my block, because we are the only block on the estate that's got communal heating.
Okay.
And we had various managers from the rents team, housing managers, and we had quite a few, top level people. And we were reassured at that meeting. We came out of there so positive because we were so reassured that as long as we're demonstrating that we're trying to pay as much as we can, the letters of threats of eviction or been taken to court would stop. And Lambeth were going to train the employees not to send these letters or to tell us this when we contact the rents team.
Yes.
Now, a few months later, they said we never said that, which I reiterated. I said, I spoke to, I don't want to name names just in case I get into trouble, but I spoke to a person who reassured me this because he knew who I was, because I've been writing and complaining and I've been calling and trying to explain my situation. And he said to me, he never said that. Okay. And I said to him, well, I didn't speak to a ghost. You definitely said that to me.
Ida, don't tell me on the air, but do tell my producer, Sarah, when I put you back through to her in a moment or two, because we're not going to let this go until you've at least had some response, which you deserve. And equally, we need to allow Lambeth Council the chance to respond as well. So we're going to reapproach them. We're going to ask Councillor Claire Holland if she'll come on and tell us what the situation is, and see if we can't get to the bottom of this. If it's not tomorrow, I'm going to pass it on to the team, and if Eddie can pick up the baton on this when he returns, then we'll absolutely make sure you get some answers and we won't leave you hanging. I can guarantee you that. Ida, thank you for joining us, and I wish you well. All the best to your wonderful mum as well. And Ruth, thank you. Just that website once more, please, before you go, just so people can get in touch with you if they feel they have a similar situation or questions to ask.
It's fuelpovertyaction.org. And what we would do is put Lambeth people in touch with the group that in fact, the address of the group that's organising is on the website there, Lambeth Heat Campaign. Lambeth Tenants Heat Campaign, and they have their own account that they're monitoring. I have to say this is all being done by people on their own time, including it in FPA now. So it's not that we're a great big organisation that can get back and solve everybody's problems, but we can put people in touch with each other, and people around the country more organising on this can make headway and stop injustices like this. Certainly, we can't let any evictions go ahead. And if you get Claire Holland on the program, we'd love to be on with them, and I'm sure a lot of the tenants and some leaseholders as well who are affected.
Absolutely, we'll extend that invitation without a shadow of a doubt once again, and see if we can't tempt Claire Holland to come and talk to us about this and find out what the intention is of the council to resolve these matters, so to end this ongoing stress for the residents and find a resolution to this problem. Thank you, Ruth. Thank you to Ida.